What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Not a Sheep podcast. My name is Matt. I'm here with my buddies Titus, JP, and we got a special guest, Logan from Poets Club.
What's up?
Yo, we got a squad today. So we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. But first off, let's talk about Dream Big. Logan, do you want to tell us kind of what Dream Big is, how you got started with the idea, and I don't know, just whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. So Dream Big right now is a concert type of event, but like at its root, it's more of just like a community of people who love Jesus, who make music, make art, make clothing, like just all kinds of stuff. And we just get together and have a good time. So it kind of just came about. I had a dream one night and it was just a bunch of my friends like doing a concert. And so at that time I was living in Alaska, and so Alaska doesn't really get stuff like that. And so I was like, dang, this would be really cool to do. And so from there I just like started planning, went through like notes on notes, just trying to figure out how to make it work, what it would look like. And so a year later, which was this past summer, in July, we had the first one in Alaska, which was crazy. Flew up like 9 people, I think. And we had a show. It was really cool. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. It was just cool to see like that dream come to life. And it like everyone had a good time. Again, like it wasn't really anything that Alaska or Fairbanks specifically, which is the town I lived in, they had never seen. It was like, I think I can like proudly say that was like the first like CHH concert, if you even want to call it that, but like just concerts in general, they don't get a lot of. And so, yeah, it was really cool. And from there, I just wanted to do more and invite more people, grow the community. And so like, I guess it was 2 weeks ago today, we had one in Virginia and all these guys were here. And I don't know, that one, it was a bit different. But I think it was a lot of fun. I would say with that one, like it was different because most of the people who came, if not like 99% of everyone who came, like I just didn't know. And so I had to rely a lot more on like the artist and their friends to show up. I think like I knew like one person, who used to live in Alaska. And so he is like the only person like outside of the artist who's been to both of the shows. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it was different, but I think we all had a good time. And there were some things that kind of went haywire at first, but in the end, like it was lit. So yeah, that's just kind of Dream Big in a summary.
Yes, sir. That's crazy that you awesome. It came from a dream, literally, like a really big dream.
Yeah, for real.
That's so crazy. But yeah, no, that's dope. What were like, now that you've done 2, what did you like learn from doing the second one?
So the second one, that one specifically, like if we're talking what I learned from the second one moving into like future events, there were a few things that I took from that. One would be just to like refine the lineup and set times, because like I just wanted to give everyone kind of like equal opportunity. But looking back, like I should have kind of like made some of the sets shorter, some of the sets, you know, like for like specifically like maybe Chris and Swayze, like with them being sort of bigger names. Also like, yeah, with that, like giving them a little more time, and then like other people maybe just cutting theirs down a little bit, because it did go for a long time and people were getting like absolutely gassed. And unfortunately, like some people in the middle just kind of dipped, which was a little upsetting, but like I understand because I was so tired like myself. And so, yeah, that's something that moving forward, like I really want to refine that to make the show shorter, but also like allowing it to have like full energy throughout, because with this one, like it was hype at first and then really slow, and then like we brought that energy back. And then like thinking back to Alaska, like that one, like I think the bar was set high at the beginning and it just like went the same throughout the whole show, which again, like most of the people who were in the audience, like they hadn't experienced this before. And so I think they were just ready to have a good time regardless.
Right.
And like people who were at the second show, like most of them going to like Liberty, like they get shows and like different events like every week. And so like with that, I think they kind of just lost interest. But like there were still like the faithful few who like kept the energy the whole time. And so
Yeah.
that was encouraging.
It definitely was. Yeah. So kind of like learning ways to keep the momentum, like
For sure.
rising up throughout the night.
Yeah. And then just also just like keeping it consistent. Yeah, keeping the momentum consistent. And then also just like I don't know. I think like refining some of the sound stuff as well, which like I really personally can't take blame for that because like it was out of my hands. But
Yeah.
also I
For
think
sure.
we could have planned things out better to get there even earlier than we did, so that we could have more time to set up, run a proper sound check. Those were just things that we unfortunately weren't able to do. But at the end of the day, like the sound person there, like she tried her best, I hope.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
things definitely didn't go the way that I had hoped. But I think everyone just kind of went with it and made it work. So
Yeah.
that was
No,
cool, at least.
For sure. And I mean, I've only done, I'd say like 4 legitimate shows before, but every single one of them that I've done, something goes wrong. Like that's not abnormal.
Yeah.
That's not like any show, even like huge artists like Dominic Fike. When I saw him, it was the first show on his tour, I'm pretty sure. And like they had stuff going like wrong with sound. So like that's not abnormal, you know?
Yeah. I think just for me, like it was just from a place of like, okay, this is my, like I'm putting this on and I want it to go right, just so everyone like I didn't want it to ruin people's experience.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
I asked a couple people and they said like it was fine and like they weren't tripping about it. So like that was reassuring, but also like me personally, like I was stressing.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
I was with you, Logan, during probably about, I mean, I was with you for a little bit of the show and I could tell that I was just like,
Yeah.
look, I was trying to calm you down. Like, it's okay, bro.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I appreciated that. But yeah, like I like legit just had to like go and like sit down like away from the stage, which I didn't expect to do. Like I was just trying to be there with everyone, but it definitely was not the most fun, but like halfway through and the rest, like it was fine. So
Yeah.
No,
I
but
think
yeah. No, go ahead, Titus.
Go ahead. I was about to say, I think that like it died down for a minute, then it picked back up, and then it ended so well. Like the way it ended was great. So
It brought that energy back for sure.
Yeah.
for sure.
That's like the thing that you kind of learn with these shows. It's like the performance itself. Like half the time when you're playing the song over the speakers, you're playing the master. Like you can't really hear the vocals anyway. So it's just about bringing that energy and like trying to get the crowd into it. And that's kind of just that's the performance. The performance isn't really singing or rapping, just
Mhm.
bringing the energy.
Well, yeah,
For
that's
sure.
kind of like the reason they call rappers like MCs is because like back in the day, they were just DJs that would run these shows and they would just try to get people to put their hands up, get them to clap, get them to get into the song. And so with like hip hop music, that's kind of your goal. It's just like crowd engagement. It's not always like who can perform the best vocal take live. And so a lot of those guys at that show are really good at getting the crowd involved and getting everyone to move and stay into it. But yeah.
For sure. And I think that's something also like I'm already like in the works of like planning the next one. And so like taking taking like what I saw to be like the highs of the show, like with like specific artists, and like I definitely want to have them back. Like as in like I don't want to in any way be like rude to anyone, but like in some instances like some of the performance weren't as hype as others.
For
And
sure.
so like
Mhm.
just kind of like, again, not to be rude, but like maybe they won't be at the next show, and it's nothing against them. Like
That's
I
You gotta
totally
do what you
fair.
gotta do, though.
Yeah,
You gotta do
that's
what you
like
gotta do.
that's part of like refining to make it like the best it can be. And so
yeah.
like for example, like Matt and you, Titus, like you guys were definitely like at the top, and like I appreciate you guys, and like I love everyone's music, but like just seeing how like you guys engaged with the audience, like you really did like bring the energy. And like Titus, you came like right after like some of like the dryness, I guess, and some
He
of
brought
the,
it back up.
yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely
Yeah.
brought it up. And so like having that energy, like for me, I'm like, okay, yeah, we definitely want to have that. And like, you know, some of like the core guys like who were at the first one and at the second one, like I definitely want to have them back. But then like you know, some of them may not be at this one, but maybe one in the future. And
Oh, yeah.
so that's kind of what I'm looking at for the second one. And like specifically, I was thinking like Ross Millett, like
Dude,
he
yeah.
like I in my opinion had one of the best sets.
Blew me away.
And he only
Was.
performed one of his own songs.
Yeah.
And so like having, you know, his covers, which like are really like personally like designed for his style, like
Mhm.
everyone was like in it. Like with that, like people knew those songs and they could really engage with it. And so like that was incredible, and definitely something that, you know, I saw and I'm like, dang, I want to have him back for the next one for sure.
Dude, his
Yeah.
performance blew me away. Like
Yeah.
I was literally like, this is going incredible. And
Yeah.
to be like, just be completely honest, his style of music is probably my least favorite there, but he had one of my favorite performances. Like he just killed it, and he had the crowd in it. And he did like, we talked to him after, and it's kind of like, dude, everyone knew the lyrics to the songs, and this is no diss to him, but it was genius because everybody could get into it.
Mhm.
And it just like he had like almost choreography with what he was doing. He absolutely killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like his first show too. And
Yeah.
so that was also like so
That's crazy.
sick.
Mhm. But yeah, me and Titus talked about this on the last episode, but that's like a thing a lot of. So like my buddy Zach is a singer, and his dad used to be a touring artist, and his dad was giving us advice. He's like, if you're ever playing an opening show and say you're doing 4 songs, make at least 1 or 2 of them covers that the crowd will know. And so that's kind of like a rule for artists. Like if the crowd doesn't know you super well, like give them something they know. And so he killed that.
Smart.
For sure. And
But
like,
yeah.
oh, good.
No, you got it. You got it.
I was just gonna talk a little more like Matt, you were the only one like in this, you know, talk right now that was at the Alaska one. But like one thing also I saw was like Roscoe's performance. Like I've been thinking of this. It was like so leveled up from like
Yes.
Alaska, and like I
Yeah.
thought he did great in Alaska. But like this one, I definitely I would say he was like most improved player. Like he
Hey,
definitely like like he really leveled up his performance, and I thought it was amazing. So
I think a lot of that is like confidence and comfort.
yeah,
Because like my first show, it was terrible. But like just the more you're up there, you get comfortable, and like Roscoe's a young guy, I'm sure,
Yeah.
and he's got all these friends that are like talented artists, and I'm sure he just like he got over that like hump in Alaska where he's
Yeah.
like now he kind of knows what he's doing, and he killed
for
it
sure.
the last
Yeah.
show.
was
Shout out to
Alaska
Roscoe.
before or after Zeal?
It was after.
It was after.
After Zeal.
like a
okay.
month after.
So he had like kind of a little practice, but then third show he's getting more comfortable. That's pretty sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. No, a lot of that is just like Geo during his set, just doing the little things. Like he does that thing where it looks like the sound went out and then it comes back on the drop. Like, I don't know, little stuff like that where he like trips on the wire is so sick.
Yeah.
And
for
so
sure.
just little things like that to engage the crowd go a long way. But Logan, also let's talk about Poets Cloth. Like
Yes, sir.
it's a clothing brand, but it's like more than a clothing brand. You do a lot with it. How did you get started? What was like the initial idea? Like, when did you get it started?
Yeah. So Poets Cloth was started in 2020. My friend and I, we started it together. We were just both like, we were into fashion, like probably me more than him. And like me specifically with like sneakers and stuff, but we both liked like Native Supply and like stuff like that. And so we we really connected through that. And like with me just moving to Alaska, and being kind of new, like I guess at this point I'd been there a year. And so this was one way that like I really connected more with my friend. We like grew our relationship. And so through that, we were just like, hey, like, what if we just started our own brand? And that was kind of something I had like thought of, or at least, wanted to do something like my own business, whatever. And so, yeah, in the summer of 2020, we kind of just sat down and kind of mapped out what we wanted to do, what we wanted the brand to be about, and made our very first designs, which were one of them was like terrible, and then the other one was like later on our first one that we dropped, which was like the Emmanuel hoodie. And so like for me, that one was like very personal. And so like I have like the Hebrew tattooed on my arm, and like that's just a big part of like my story and my walk with Christ. And so I thought it'd be cool to make that into some kind of shirt, hoodie, whatever. And so yeah, from like summer until late fall, we kind of just figured out what we wanted to do. And then November 11th was our like release day, and it was exciting. We had 3 different designs like made out, and unfortunately like we couldn't produce all of them just with production, like quantities and stuff. So we're at the point where we were like, okay, we're either just done with this forever, like we tried and it kind of failed, but we just refined to one piece. And that was kind of awkward because we were doing strictly pre-order, and so like people could pick which one they liked the most and pre-order that. But each design had like a minimum for production, and we were just 2 teenagers who didn't have any money to put into it, so we were just relying on that. But we just had to call some people and say, hey, like unfortunately we're not going to be able to produce your product right now. We'll give you a refund, but we would also really appreciate if you use that money and bought this one, because this is the one we're going with. And a lot of people did, so that was encouraging. A couple didn't, which that was fine. They got their money back, and later bought another piece. But yeah, so that was kind of the start of it. And one big aspect of it is we wanted to use the brand and the profits to support our community. And so every piece, like a portion of that was donated to a nonprofit in our community. And so at first we were able to donate to the Fairbanks food bank. And so at the time we were doing the pre-orders, like there was another company that was going to match, like not just like our donation, but every donation that the food bank got from this state to the state, they like gave that times 4. And so like our little $200 $300 donation was like times 4. And so like we were really able to just like bless the food bank. And so that was encouraging. And like I know the lady that runs it, and like I love her and her family. So that was really cool. And so that's just kind of how we started. And then from there, we did our second drop, which was one of the pieces that we didn't originally get to drop. And that one, a lot of people went and bought that one too. So they didn't get it the first time, so they got it that second time. But yeah, and from there, we've just done a few drops, a few collections. Not every release we've been able to donate, just with different production things, and just trying to make our money back. But
Yeah.
but yeah, that's kind of how we started. And then I guess it was last summer, no, 2 summers ago, my friend moved off to college. And so he left the business. And so now it's just myself running it. And that's been great. Nothing against him, but I think like having that like independence with it has allowed me, just having my own vision for things, and like the Lord giving me clear direction and how I want to run it, and how he wants to run it. And so I'm not saying that like my friend and I, battled or butted heads like about what we wanted to do, but I think this has been for the best. And I think he would say the same thing. And so, so 2 years later, things are going great, and I'm excited for the future. So
that's awesome.
Yes, sir.
No, I definitely know what you mean too, because it's like when you try to start something with someone, especially if one person might be like pulling more weight than the other, it's also like it's just quicker sometimes if it's just you, like you don't have to ask for permission, you can just do things. And it's like, because you want to be like, if you're working with someone, you want to be nice, so you want to like run everything past each other, but like I don't know, it's just more efficient sometimes. I noticed that a lot with artists because we're all like independent, and so it's like some of us have teams, some of us have like go-to producers, and some artists have managers, but it's like it's definitely easier. There's a reason independent artists put out more music than like a big label. It's because they just less people to go through.
Yeah. And I think like with that too, like I was more prone just to kind of like say yes to like more of his ideas maybe. Just so like, because like not all of his ideas were the best, or not all of them were terrible, and the same for me. But I felt like I kind of said yes a lot more just because like I think in some,
because you wanted it to be even.
Yeah. And so I think not having that now like is pretty cool, just so I can kind of go my own direction and like what the Lord is specifically leading me into. And so I feel like a lot of like the most recent pieces have really been from a place of like, all right, this is what the Lord's teaching me in my own life. And so like, I want to put that out into some sort of design or some garment. And so that's been really cool too.
Yeah. So with the new drop that you just put out, how many, like what number is this? How many drops have you done since you first started?
So we started like late 2020. So we just had the one there. And then 2021, we had one like February release, and we had a summer release, and then 2 more releases like in the fall, and then another like winter collection. And then last year we had 2 releases, actually 3, and then we had the Dream Big stuff. So like we only did like 2 specific pieces for that, the shirt and then the hat. And then
JP did the shirt, right?
JP did the shirt, which is incredible. So I was really struggling on that one. And
dude, that was fun. That was so much fun.
No, I had no idea what I wanted from it. And then like I was like right in the middle of like camp season. So like I was literally counselor mode like 24/7. And so I was like, I just need help. And so JP really came through. So shout out JP.
The JP.
Yeah. Wait,
so,
what was the shirt that he worked on?
The Dream Big shirt, and like the Alaska one.
Oh yeah.
With the artist on the back and stuff. Yeah.
And so from summer until like literally last week, I didn't do anything just because I moved from Alaska to Tennessee. And then from there, like I was really trying to put together a nice collection of a few different things. And so that dropped last week. So yeah, I don't know how many in total that was, but that's kind of how it looks. So
that's dope.
Hey, sorry, do you have a question, Matt?
No, go for it, Titus.
So Logan, I was gonna ask, and I know it's kind of like early to like be able to tell, but do you think that, like we did that photo shoot in Virginia, do you think that content that you were able, like just the quality of it being like just having like people like model your clothes and stuff, and like the quality of the content that you're able to post to like promote it or whatever, do you think that helped your like to like sell it, or do you think it will help to sell it? Like, what do you think?
Yeah. So right now, uh, like to first answer a question, yes, I think this is the highest quality content that I've been able to have like so far, and that's awesome, and I'm super excited. But like right now, I'm still like trying to really figure out like social media and like really how to make a bigger impact. And so yeah, with this like all this new content, like I think that's really going to level up things for us. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, I think it's going to help a lot.
It looks crazy.
Yeah.
Made a lot of
Yeah.
they made a lot of people look cool that don't normally look cool, like me and Titus.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, that's facts.
Hey, Logan, so you said Dream Big came to you in a big dream. So where did you come up with the name for Poet's Cloth? Did you meet some dude writing poems and he handed you like a cloth or something, or like a washcloth? Or how'd that happen?
So that was actually my friend. He was more into like poetry and stuff like that. So he kind of came up with the name, and at first I hated it because I was like, dang, bro, I just don't I don't like poetry. I think that's really corny for like a clothing brand. But like once we like really like talked about it more, and like we kind of came to the conclusion, all right, like poets as in not specifically poetry, but like art in general, whether that be poetry, music, even, you know, photography, videography, just like all the arts in general, like, and all the ways that we can create, like, we came to a conclusion, okay, like it doesn't have to be totally bound to poetry itself. And so after we talked about that, I was like, okay, this is cool. And then I just took my own interpretation of like, all right, God being the ultimate poet, we as creation, we as humans being his cloth or his canvas, and like every day he's like working on us, refining us, making us beautiful. I like that version better myself. But that's just kind of how the name came about. It wasn't from my mind, it was my friends. But yeah, I think it's very different and very unique. And
Yeah.
so I think that's also been really cool, just to have something like so different than any other brand that I know of.
Yeah, I think in like the hat you're wearing, Creators for the Kingdom, that goes hand in hand really well with that.
Yeah.
It's like all creators encompassing.
Yeah. And that's been like, that was one of those designs that like, you know, I was talking about like how the Lord was just teaching me different things in my own walk. And so that was one, like, you know, we're all, you know, as believers, as followers of Christ, like we're all using our gifts, like the Holy Spirit, like, you know, uses us to do this ultimately for the kingdom of Christ. And so whether that's through clothing or through music, through you know, photography, like we all have different gifts and different talents that the Lord's given us. And so, you know, if we're really walking with Christ, we should be using those gifts for the kingdom. And so that's kind of like, I was learning that in my own life, and that like Creators for the Kingdom, that really just stuck out. And so that's kind of in my, like, I really want that to be like the staple piece of Poet's Cloth moving forward. And so I'm really excited about that.
All right, Logan, what are your plans for the future with the brand?
Yeah, so like right now, I'm working on the next like few pieces. Like I know this past one just dropped like last week, but I'm always kind of just like, once one thing is like out, I already am just like starting on the next one. And so for hopefully for like springtime, I've got 3 pieces in the works that I think are some of the best designs so far, and I think are like can really like just take the brand to another level. And so I'm working on that. And then like promotion wise for that, I'm wanting to do some, maybe not like short film, but like maybe like a minute to 90-second video, like really capturing the theme of each design, and just kind of like how I feel the Lord like really leading me in that area, what he's like taught me through that, and through those designs. And so that's something I'm really excited for. And I was talking to Jordan like 2 weeks ago, and just asking him if he wanted to do the video. So I'm pretty pumped for that. I think it's going to be cool. So right now I'm just kind of planning that out, kind of writing the kind of like dialogue for those. And so that's something I'm really excited about. And then obviously I want to do Dream Big. That's hopefully in October. So the plan right now is to like I kind of already have a location planned out, because it was the venue I wanted to do originally, but like the person I was talking to, like she was really bad at like getting back to emails, phone calls. I don't think like one time she ever picked up the phone when I called. And so I actually went down there. So like in December, I drove to Lynchburg to look at the place that we had it, just to check it out, because like literally that was the only place that got back to me out of like dozens of phone calls. It was either like no one got back to me, or they just like didn't do events and stuff at their church. But this one, they said yeah. And so I went to check it out. And then Isaac goes to this church. It's actually the church on campus. And so he has like connections there. So we went there and I talked to the lady in person and gave her more information. And I think just like her seeing us like, and that we were real and that we had like the real intent to put on an event, like was more reassuring to her. But yeah, unfortunately that place didn't work out, but we have it secured for next time. And so I just have to give her the date. So I would say once like August rolls around and I find out what Liberty is doing on campus, like with their student activities, I'll plan around that. Cause this one, I didn't really know what they had planned, and I just like chose a date. And there was like another thing going on that night. But I think the people who came to Dream Big, like were meant to be there, and like God obviously like knew who was going to be there. And so that's kind of the plan right now. Hopefully October will be the next Dream Big. And then I don't know how many people like actually listen to this podcast, but
I don't either, man.
I'll just tell you guys, because like you could be praying about this, and I want to invite you into this. And so something I want to do is, I was thinking about this while I was driving like an hour today from one store to the next. I want to do like some sort of like album / maybe not really like mixtape, and not like really a playlist either, but like probably just an album.
Mm-hmm.
And like everyone kind of in this like Dream Big community do a song, and like we just like go crazy on it, and like we just like make something incredible, like bigger than like Reach's summer playlist,
Way bigger.
Like this is like the Dream Big community. And so I was just thinking about that. I was like, dang, this would really be cool. And so like it would probably look like, at the next Dream Big, like if everyone can just come like a couple days earlier than like they even did this time, and we just like grind something out. Like like I know that's like me just like asking everyone, like I really just want you to like give your best and like do this for me, but also like I feel like this could be incredible. And like
yes, I agree.
Like I feel like this could be something special, something like revolutionary to the space. And so like I want to invite you guys into that, like just to be praying about that. And like I don't know, we were talking at like Isaac and Austin and I, we were hanging out, and we were talking about like even doing like a Dream Big cipher, like something like not really like trying to copy praise, but like how RG had like so many people on that. We just have like a song with everybody.
Yes,
like,
that would
and
go
I feel
crazy.
like that would be like a crazy ending to the project. But then like just throughout, like everyone just kind of, I feel like so many people that I've met and like through this space and in this community, like they all have like just varying ranges of style and like what their niche is. And I feel like if we just have all of that on like one project, like that could just really go crazy, in my opinion. But I'm not like the music guy here, so
No, that is fire. I rock with that idea heavy. What do you guys think, Titus and
Dude,
JP?
that could be super sick. I think like
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I think, well, one thing I've noticed that we've noticed is like when we don't see each other much, at least like me, Titus, and Matt, because Matt's in Washington. So like when we do see each other, we make music online and that's awesome. But making music in person is so much better. And so like as soon as we pull up, we're like, all right, let's try to cook up. What time can we cook up? What time can we do X, Y, and Z? So and we've noticed like not everybody is always like that. So I feel like if there was almost a motivation, like if Logan was like, yo, let's all do this, and everyone was like that motivated to actually do something, that it could be really fun.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
So no, I think that would be so fire. I do think the hard part of that obviously would be getting everyone in one space at one time, or even at different times, like to record songs. Just because I know that I feel like some people well, obviously everyone has different schedules and stuff, but like I feel like some people have different like ways they like to make music, and for some people it might be harder to make music in like a room full of people.
In front of others. Yeah.
And the only reason I say yeah, facts. And I think the idea though be fire. I would definitely try to get it to work though, like for sure.
Yeah.
But that was the only thing that came to my mind.
At the very least, you got us three and Roscoe. We can definitely make music together because we do.
Oh yeah.
So.
Even Logue, we did That's On You with Roscoe, Logue.
Yeah.
All of us, like just one morning, the day of the video shoot, we're like, we got to get a song done.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the best songs we've written together, like as a group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude.
And I'm sure that you could get other people to do it too.
Yeah.
I was just throwing that out there.
Oh, for sure. No. Like this, literally, like I've kind of had a similar idea, but like today it really hit me. Like I really want to like actually do this, and that's why like I was like, oh, this would be cool just to like present to you guys first, because like I think it would be kind of a longer process of like because everyone obviously doesn't live in the same place. Everyone has their own like preferences as far as recording, making music, just like you were saying, Titus. But I feel like if we were to do it, like everyone just comes together like for the next show. Like Isaac opened up like the bagel shop like every night, and so if people came like a few days earlier, like we could probably just like hang there every single night. And so like if Matt and Titus and JP wanted to be there at one time doing something while the rest of us were just chilling, or and then the next night like Jordan is there, just like everyone can do their own thing. And so I think that would really be cool. And then even for some people who don't want to do that, like if I think this would definitely be something like I want to tell everyone ahead of time, so like they could go ahead and have something ready. And so I don't know, this all just kind of hit me today, but I don't know, it got me really excited.
Well, that's another thing I was going to say. I think the idea, just because I know that like when I collab with other artists or stuff, like I love doing that. I love collabing with other artists just because we're both benefiting off each other. We're both growing our fan bases by collabing with each other. And so if you get everyone in this community or whatever to come together and make an album, and we're all promoting it, we're all pushing it, it's like, whoa, dude, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I think it could really be something big. And, I just like, I'm going to continue to pray, like the Lord really just guide and direct. And like, ultimately everything that I do through Poets Cloth, Dream Big, like, even my life in general, like I want it to glorify the Lord. And so
absolutely.
And so I don't know, this got me really excited today. So
yeah, I love to hear this, bro. I think it's very doable. I think you know this, but it's just getting everyone on the same page. If you can do that, I think who knows, maybe it's 5 songs, maybe it's a 15-song album. Who knows what'll happen? But if everyone's on the same page, I think a lot can get done.
And like one thought, like I don't know again like how many tracks it will be or whatever, but I was like, man, we need to have Covely on like an interlude or something.
Yeah.
And just like let him run it
Go
up.
crazy.
No, but even having someone like him or Roz there, like filming it would be crazy too. I've always wanted to do that, have like a documentary style thing of a project being made.
For
Would
sure.
level up the vlog, Matt.
Level up the vlog like crazy.
I really wanted that like aspect in Alaska, but I couldn't get Roz up there just with like finances and stuff. So I thought that would be really cool, but I think everyone took their own videos, and like we had Covely had like 3 or 4 like folders of photos. So I think we captured the moment, but like for sure, like having a documentary about it, like that kind of style video, that would go insane.
Yeah, I don't know if you listen to like John Bellion at all, but like all his behind the scenes videos are crazy. Or even like this would be really similar to like the Dreamville sessions. I don't know if you ever watched that documentary, but getting everyone in the same room and just filming it would be crazy.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I think this has a lot of potential. So I would just ask you guys to be praying about it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We'll see where the Lord takes it.
Yeah, I love to hear that, bro. So that sounds like a big future for Dream Big, for Poets Cloth. So you said you're working on the next drop. What is like your process of working on clothing ideas? Like what kind of stuff do you do?
So a lot of it has just been like I'll just get a random thought and I'll just like jot it down in my notes. And then from there, I'll just kind of like play around with the design. There's been some that like the Dream Big one, like the first one, and then even like a couple other that like I'm still learning like design stuff. Like I'm no expert at all. And so that's whenever I'll ask like people, hey, like I ask Ross to help me, I ask JP, like you guys have obviously more experience than I do. And so I just kind of tell them what I'm looking at, what I thought of, and then they just add their own like flavor with it. And so that aspect of it has been cool. And then like just for me personally, like if I do find something that I like, I'll just kind of play around with it. This drop that I just had, I think that one was the most like I was really picky about like everything, and I really wanted it to be perfect. So that's why I kind of like I wanted to drop it in like November, but with just some different like fine tuning and then some different production things, like it just didn't, happen until this month. But that's kind of my process. I'll just randomly think of something and then just try to make a design out of it.
Yeah, that's dope. Do you want to do collabs with other brands? Do you want to like, I don't know, like kind of just work with other people more? Like what are you thinking for the future?
Yeah, so for that, I definitely would like to do collabs like 2 brands that I really like take inspiration from and like look up to is like Divine Outcast. And like it was really cool meeting Swayze at this past show and like just kind of talking with him about it. Like he's been doing it a bit longer than I have. And so like it was cool. It was just cool to connect with him. And yeah, I really like look up to what he's doing. And then We All Ugly, that's another brand that I really like. And wow, he's a cool guy. I've been able to DM some with him. And so and then this dude that I met like a couple months ago, he knows him. And so like he was trying to get me connected with them too. But like those are 2 brands that I think would be so cool to do some sort of collab with. And so we'll see. And then I definitely want to do more like artist collabs, like with people like you guys, everyone like in the Dream Big kind of community. Like even now, like I'm trying to get my own equipment to print myself. And so like if, reaching out like, hey, do you guys want merch? Like I could make it. And I know Chance has been doing that with like Isaac's stuff and Austin's stuff. So those are like 2 different collab like avenues, but I really am open to work those out. So
Yeah, that would be sick. This is a little off topic, but just curious. Have you ever seen this company For the Name? Does that ring a bell?
no.
No. It's someone from it's like a friend of mine from church runs like a Christian clothing company, and they're pretty big.
Cool.
But just curious because it's like similar
Yeah.
scene. But no,
Gotcha.
that's dope. That would be cool to do like collabs with artists and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long okay, so you just put out the new drop. How long does it usually take? Is it kind of like you're like quarterly type thing? You want to start putting out drops, or is it just whatever you feel?
Kind of both. Like I feel like in some sense I've just like followed with like seasons. And so like, a winter drop having more hoodies, crew necks. I didn't do beanies this one just because it didn't work out, but then like summer, obviously more t-shirts. So I kind of want to follow along with the seasons, but also just with like really whatever kind of mood I'm in, I guess. Like if I have a piece that I really like, and I want to drop it, like I'll just drop it. So
Yeah,
it kind of varies.
That's dope. But yeah, is there anything else specifically you want to let us know about with Dream Big or Poets Cloth? Anything specifically?
I don't know. I think we kind of covered everything, at least in my mind.
That's
So
so yeah. Well, sick, guys. I'm glad we got to actually do this and I don't know, make this happen.
Yeah, dude.
It's cool because this is our first guest episode we've done since we started back up again. And so yeah, hopefully gonna start doing some more guest episodes. Let us know who you want us to have on. We gotta go through the whole Dream Big like circle at some point. We gotta get everyone on at some point. It'd also be cool at the next one to like actually film one there.
Yeah.
Like get people in person and stuff and do one. But yeah, Logan, where can they follow you? Where can they follow the brands? Where can they keep up
I'm
with
sorry,
your stuff?
I have one more question.
Oh
before
yeah,
we
go for it. Go for it.
Logan,
Classic. Classic.
Logan, I was just
Wait,
wondering.
I actually
Go ahead, JP.
That was a joke.
Logan, I was just I was just,
All right, Titus, you
All
have
right.
permission to talk. Everyone else,
it was a
shut
question
up.
about
All right, Logan. I was wondering if like who are some people that you would think that you'd want like us to get on the podcast or you want to like hear from? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Or if any come to mind. If not, it's okay. It's kind of a spot on question.
I don't know. And I think you guys talked about this on one, like more recent ones, but like I think Roz would be really cool to have on because that guy does like everything. And I feel like he would have a lot of stories to share, a lot of advice to give. So I just like at this Dream Big, like that was my first time meeting him in person. And it was really cool because we had talked like, over Instagram for a bit, like with just working on designs and yada yada. And I think meeting him in person was a lot better than just like interacting on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's how it is though. I've people that I've known on Instagram or met on Instagram, it's totally different when you meet them in person. And,
it's easy to come off as a weirdo online and then be a normal person in real life.
Yeah. And like that's literally been me with like everyone, because up until like the Alaska show, I had never met anyone in person just because like I lived in Alaska and that's like a different part of the world, it feels like. And so that was it was kind of weird. Like, I guess we'll just talk about this for a second, but
yeah, go for it.
It was kind of weird, like picking people up at the airport. Like I guess we picked up Matt and like in Austin first. And I think that was like a good, like first people to meet, because you guys were both really chill. And like, I guess Matt, I never like talked to you as much as like the other people, like right before the show, I think is like when we first like actually like started having conversations and stuff. And then the same with Austin, like you guys were both like I guess like the two latest additions to like the lineup and stuff. Which that was cool, like how God worked that out.
Yeah.
But like meeting you guys first, I think helped because you guys are super like chill. Everyone's chill, but I think once we picked up everyone else, it was more like I don't know.
Chaotic.
Yeah, like all right, I've talked to you, some of you for like over a year now, and like meeting you in person, like how is that gonna like differ or be the same? Like, is it gonna still be like, you know, like chummy? Like I don't know, but
Mhm.
everyone was super cool. I think at some points it was like awkward because like I was the outsider in like that sense because everyone knew each other and had hung out. So like I guess I was just like trying to find my way into it, but everyone was super cool and accepting. Like I think that's like the cool thing about like this like group. Like everyone just like loves each other and like we're all brothers in Christ. So like we just chill. So
Yeah. No, I have so many memories of that first day. That was so like just getting picked up. We went to like Costco. We were just
that's
chilling.
facts.
Me and Austin were playing like Smash Bros. And then that dinner, I that was a fun night. But yeah, no, there was a lot of good times in Alaska. But yeah, it is like intimidating, low key meeting people at first because you just don't know. Especially if you're like, all right, I'm about to be with these people for like a week, basically. Like,
Yeah.
hopefully they're not weirdos. Like, who
Yeah.
knows? And everyone was super cool.
Yeah. And I like honestly, I feel like this is like nothing against anyone. Like everyone's super chill, but I feel like having Coveley there like really just like made things like I think we wouldn't have had as much fun.
Yeah.
Like if he wasn't there. And again,
Mhm.
like everyone's cool, everyone like I think we still would have had a great time, but he just like made everything so much more like I don't even know the word. Like
He's
he
just got like good energy. Like he's
Yeah.
always positive. He's always lifting
Yeah.
people up. He's always being goofy. But yeah.
Yeah. And like this past time, like he was just on a different level. Like
Yeah.
we were on Saturday, we were just hanging at Gio's apartment and like he was just on another one. Like he was so funny. But I think we all agree, like we can agree like Coveley is probably the best investment to make for each dream big. Like he's essential. So
Definitely. Shoot, we got to get him on the podcast. We need to
Yeah,
just let
that'd
him
be good.
loose and just see what happens.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
that'd be
Yeah.
so fun. But
For
yeah.
sure.
Dude,
Yeah, bro.
Logan, what are your thoughts on Titus skipping Dream Big Alaska to get married? What do you think about his
Ooh.
priorities there?
Boo.
I mean,
Logan.
it stung, honestly. Like, I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, you could have just like postponed the wedding, honestly. But
That's what I'm saying.
Push it
I mean,
back.
you really left like not just me, but you left Roscoe and Matt hanging on many songs.
Yeah, we just
at that
did some of
show.
your verses.
So, it upset me, but I think it affected them a lot more.
I'm sorry.
saying.
Listen. It just so happened. Like I was hurt that I wasn't able to go. Honestly, I was upset. I was like, if I didn't have this wedding, I'd be able to go down. But you know, I had to get married. I'm sorry.
That's all good. You were
Hey,
at this,
JP
you were at
Hey,
this-
JP skipped it too to be at my wedding. He was in my wedding, so
It's true.
he was.
I'm at fault as well.
Like,
I'm at fault.
like I don't even think I invited JP. Like, sorry.
Hey yo,
That's funny.
Like he made the
Bro,
shirt, and I think
what do
that
you
was
mean?
just
All
like,
my fans are in Alaska. I checked my Spotify; they're all in Fairbanks.
They low key are. Like I've noticed that that's one of my
Wait, what are y'all
cities
talking
now.
about? Are y'all being serious?
No, JP had North Pole, which is like a place we went to.
yeah. No, dude,
Wait.
that's it was probably picking up from me because like I think at one point Roscoe like sent me a screenshot of like at the time I was an Apple guy, Apple Music, which I've since converted.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But,
Premium
like,
for life.
I was carrying his streams on Apple Music.
Oh yeah.
I was carrying, and I think I carried a lot of you guys's.
That's
Probably,
funny.
probably.
So-
Apple's a whole different ball game stat wise.
Thanks.
But
I just got a comment on my most recent post. They were asking why my new song wasn't on Apple Music. And I'm like, well, I changed my artist name and they just take forever to transfer or change. They're just not on their game, So
I saw that. That was like John commented that, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's kind of sucks though. I'm like, it is on Apple Music. It's just not. It's not under my new profile. It's under my old one.
The amount of times we talked about Titus's artist problems on this podcast.
I'm sorry. It's
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
It's tough.
It is tough. Well, I'll say that's a good point to wrap it up.
Yeah.
But
Wrap it
yeah, thank you so much for coming
Wrap
on,
it up.
Logan. Wrap it up.
Sure.
Where can they follow you? Where can they follow your brands?
Yes, on Instagram at Poets Cloth. I've just started on TikTok. That's also at Poets Cloth. Check out the website, poetscloth.com. The new drops on there. Everything's marked down just to kind of celebrate the release. So everything's on sale. I think this is one of the best collections yet. So yeah. And then you can also follow on Instagram at dreambig.pc. That's the concert page. So we just post like just kind of recaps. Roz is about to send a bunch of stuff over. So there'll be a lot of stuff going on that page very soon.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, definitely go cop some of the merch. Go cop some of the designs. They're sick. Yeah.
Wristband, baby.
JP, Titus,
Hey.
where can they follow you?
Follow me on Titus Haskins Music on Instagram and also Facebook, Titus Haskins, for all the
On
people on
Facebook?
Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook. I'm just gonna throw out
Promoting
new-
Facebook now?
We're promoting Facebook because apparently, yeah. Anyway, that's another story. And also TikTok at Titus Haskins Music. So
Yeah.
yeah.
JP.
JPX Prince Art on Instagram, and then just JPX Prince.
Plug.
On Spotify.
That was
Big plug.
quick. Yeah.
I had it up.
That's always have it up. Yeah. You can follow me
Always.
at It's Matt Mogg, all platforms. Look up Matt Mogg on Spotify. You can follow the podcast at NAS Podcast on Instagram. Check us out on YouTube if you want to see what we look like.
Do it.
Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Give us a like or whatever it is on Spotify. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you again next week. Peace.